Why Gisborne? Well, there's a number of reasons. It's just such a beautiful place. It's a laid-back coastal community that we really liked here at Wainui Beach, and we could see ourselves and our family really fitting in here and having a good life here. The school's just down the road. The house is close to the beach, close to the surf. Keeps the kids happy and Dad happy, so it's a win-win. I sort of came across screen printing through a friend who I joined forces with. He was an artist as well, and we set up a studio in Northland and decided to try screen printing. You know, I haven't sort of cut any corners over the years. It's pretty much still as I originally did it back in the early 80s when I kicked off. So you've got to come up with the original image first, which I paint in acrylic on board, and that's painted with the screen print process in mind. And from that, once I've got a final image I'm happy with, then I have to take it to the stage of separating out all the colours, and that involves putting transparent overlays over the top of the image and tracing out by hand every individual colour. And all these individual colours have to be registered perfectly to create the final image. And so once I've got the separations, then I have to make up the screens, and then I have to apply the separations to the screens to create stencils. And when the stencils are made, that's another whole process. I've got to mix the paint, cut the paper, set up the screen printing table, and start lining up all the stencils and printing them in sequence to get the final result. Internationally, my work does end up in far-flung places. I've just sold recently 2 original works to an Australian couple who will be taking them across the Tasman, and actually 1 week earlier another Australian bought an original of mine. So yeah, they end up all over the show. My prints have been selling for many years now, and I hear back from friends overseas who have seen them in the most unlikely places, like a hospital in London or somewhere in the middle of the US. So they get around with people, visitors coming to New Zealand and buying works and taking them back home, and expatriate Kiwis coming over for Christmas and returning with works. So yeah, they do get around. I used to get a lot of phone calls from friends saying they'd see my work on TV in the background to Helen Clark, so she very kindly used to stand in front of one of my prints and be interviewed, so I got quite a kick out of that. The future for me, hopefully I can continue doing what I do with the help of the galleries and maybe the odd Prime Minister. I'll have to get in touch with John Key. But yeah, I mean, I love what I do. I've never grown tired of what I do. It sort of reflects what it means to me to be a New Zealander and to live in this country and to experience a lifestyle here. That's what drives me, and I've never felt like I've been running out of ideas. There's always something that will capture my imagination, capture my interest. So, but just generally in the wider sense, just art inspires me. I mean, what I do is a small piece of a much wider picture, and I'm inspired, all the time by what other people are doing artistically, and it makes me want to strive to do more. And you can go anywhere in the world, and art will be a means of understanding where you are and what country you're in, and so forth. It has universal appeal, and I just feel it's one of the greatest things you can ever be interested in.